My child, I need you to hear these words with every part of you, not just your mind, not just your ears. I need these words to travel past the surface of your understanding and settle into the deepest place in your spirit where truth takes permanent root. Because what I am about to declare over your life today is not a general encouragement designed to lift your mood for a moment. It is a specific, targeted, heaven-authorized announcement for your specific life, your specific season, your specific situation. The waiting is finally over. I know what those words feel like to a heart that has been waiting as long as you have. I know they might land with a mixture of hope and skepticism. I know that part of you wants to receive them completely, and another part of you, the part that has been disappointed before, the part that has heard promises that took longer than expected, the part that has learned through repeated experience to guard itself against hope that might not materialize, that part hesitates. That part whispers, I have felt this before, I have believed this before, and then I had to keep waiting. My child, I understand that hesitation. I do not dismiss it. I do not ask you to ignore the lessons that pain has written into your heart. But I am asking you to listen, really listen, to what I am saying today. Because this is different. This is not a stirring of emotion that will fade when circumstances remain unchanged. This is a declaration from the throne of heaven into the specific reality of your life. And the one making this declaration does not speak empty words. I do not announce what I have not already prepared. I do not declare what I am not already releasing. The waiting is finally over. Your season has arrived, and I need you to be awake enough, open enough, and ready enough to receive it fully when it manifests in the visible world around you. Stay with me. Receive everything I'm about to say, because this word is going to change the way you walk out of today. My beloved, before I speak about what is arriving, I need to speak about what you have been through, because the arrival of your season cannot be fully appreciated without understanding the weight of the waiting that preceded it. And I want you to understand that I have not been an indifferent observer of your waiting. I have been a deeply involved, deeply caring, deeply present companion through every single day of it. I know how long this has been. I know what long waiting does to a human heart. I know the particular erosion that happens when days of hoping turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into what sometimes felt like an endless stretch of sameness that made you wonder if the promises you had been holding were actually attached to your life, or whether you had somehow been mistaken about what I had spoken. Know the specific mornings of this waiting season, the ones where you woke up and for a brief moment, before full consciousness settled in, you felt okay. And then the full awareness of your situation returned, and the heaviness came back. The mornings where getting up felt like an act of sheer will because everything in you wanted to stay where you were rather than face another day of the same unanswered prayers and unchanged circumstances. I know those mornings. I was there in every single one of them, closer than your own breath, holding the weight of the day alongside you before you even had the strength to lift it yourself. I know the specific nights of this waiting season, the nights that seemed longer than nights should be, when sleep would not come and your mind would not rest, and the silence of the dark hours felt like a magnification of everything uncertain and unresolved in your life. When the questions that you could manage during the activity of the day became louder and harder to silence in the stillness of the night. When you whispered to me in those hours, sometimes with faith, sometimes with desperation, sometimes with nothing more than a tired exhale of my name because words had run out, and that exhale was all the prayer you had left. I received every exhale. I heard every whispered question. I was present in every long, dark, restless night, and not once, not for a single moment of the longest night of your waiting, did I look away. I know the middle of this waiting season, the specific stretch where the initial momentum of your faith began to slow, where the declarations that had come easily in the early days of believing began to require more effort, where the praise that had flowed naturally began to feel like it was being squeezed out of a place that was running low, where you had to make a deliberate, conscious, sometimes costly choice every single day to keep believing, keep trusting, keep holding the promise that was taking so much longer than you expected. I saw that daily choice. I honored it. Every single day that you chose to believe when unbelief was easier, I was with you in that choice, sustaining it, strengthening it, making sure that the faith that felt like it was barely a flicker was kept alive by my breath, even when your own breath was running out. Type, you were with me through every day of it, Lord. If you believe that I never once left you in the waiting, My child, I want to explain to you why the waiting was as long as it was. Because I know this is one of the questions that has sat heaviest in your heart. Not just the question of when, but the question of why. Why so long? Why this length of time? Why did the answer take this many days, this many prayers, this many tears before it came? Was it something I did? Was it something I failed to do? Was it a punishment for something? Was it evidence of something lacking in my faith? My beloved, hear me clearly. The length of the waiting was not punishment. It was not evidence of lacking faith. It was not the result of anything you did wrong or failed to do right. The length of the waiting was the exact amount of time required to prepare both you and the answer for the moment of their meeting. Think about this carefully. If I had given you what you were asking for on the first day you asked for it, would you have been ready to receive it? Would the character required to carry it have been formed in you yet? Would the discernment needed to steward it wisely have been developed? Would the depth of gratitude that will allow you to honor what you receive rather than take it for granted have been cultivated? Would the roots of your faith have gone deep enough to keep you anchored when the blessing itself brought its own set of challenges? The honest answer, my child, is no. On the first day you asked, you were not yet the person who could carry what I was preparing to give. Not because you were inadequate, but because the preparation had not yet had time to work. And I love you too much, far too much, to give you what you asked for before you were ready to receive it, without being crushed by it. I love you too much to hand you a gift that would become a burden because the vessel that received it was not yet strong enough to hold its weight. So I waited. And I used the waiting to work in you everything that needed to be worked. I used the years of waiting to build in you a character that can carry extraordinary blessing without being destroyed by it. I used the seasons of unanswered prayer to develop in you a depth of trust in me that would keep you anchored when the answer came and brought its own storms. I used the delays to cultivate in you a quality of patience and perseverance that cannot be manufactured in comfortable circumstances. I used the silence to deepen in you an intimacy with my voice that you would not trade for anything. An ability to hear me in the whispers that you never would have developed if the answers had always come loudly and quickly. The waiting was not wasted time. The waiting was the most productive time of your life, even though it felt like nothing was happening. Even though from the surface it looked like stillness. Beneath the surface I was doing the deepest, most essential, most transformative work of your entire journey. And now that work is complete. The vessel is ready, the answer is ready, and the moment of their meeting has come. Right. The waiting was preparation, not punishment. If you receive this truth over every day you have waited, my beloved, I want to speak now about what your season arriving actually means. Because I am not speaking in abstract spiritual language designed to sound significant without saying anything concrete. I am speaking about real, specific, tangible changes that are coming to the real, specific, tangible circumstances of your life. Your season arriving means that the specific prayers you have been praying the longest, the ones you have prayed so many times that you almost stopped praying them, the ones connected to the deepest desires and the most significant needs of your life, those prayers are being answered. Not eventually, not in the distant future when conditions are more favorable, now, in this season. In the days and weeks and months that are directly in front of you, I want you to think about the specific thing you have been waiting for the longest. The thing that has been on your heart and on your prayer list longer than anything else. The thing that you have believed for and released and believed for again so many times that the pattern of hoping and waiting has become one of the defining features of this season of your life. I want you to hold that specific thing in your mind right now. I am speaking to that thing. I am addressing it directly. I am declaring over it that the season of its delay is ending and the season of its fulfillment is beginning. What you have been holding in faith is about to be held in your hands. What you have been declaring in prayer is about to be witnessed in reality. What you have been trusting me for in the hidden place of your heart is about to be revealed in the visible reality of your daily life. I know that might seem too good to be true. I know that the length of the waiting has conditioned you to be cautious about declarations like this one. But my child, I do not make declarations I do not intend to fulfill. I am not a God of empty promises or of hope manufactured to keep you going without any intention of actual delivery. Every word I speak is backed by the full authority and the full faithfulness of who I am. And I am faithful, completely, perfectly, eternally faithful. What I say happens. What I declare comes to pass. What I announce from my throne manifests in the earth. The waiting is over. Your season is here. and the fulfillment of what you have been believing for is on its way. My child, let me be specific about the dimensions of what your arriving season carries. Because your season is not one-dimensional. It is not just the answer to one prayer or the resolution of one situation. Your season is comprehensive. It touches every major area of your life simultaneously. And I want to walk you through each dimension so that your faith has specific, concrete things to stand on, and your eyes have specific, concrete things to watch for. Your season of financial breakthrough has arrived. I know the financial pressure that has been one of the defining features of this waiting period. I know the numbers that have kept you awake. I know the gap between what is needed and what has been available that has been a source of constant, low-level anxiety running beneath the surface of everything else. I know the prayers you have prayed about provision that have felt like they bounced off the ceiling and returned to you unanswered. They were not unanswered. They were being held in preparation for the season of release, and that season is now. Streams of financial provision are opening that have been closed. Favor is being placed on your name in rooms you have not yet entered. Opportunities that carry financial blessing are being positioned in your direct path. Unexpected sources of supply are being arranged. I am not just meeting your immediate needs. I am releasing a level of provision that makes up for the seasons of lack. Restoration of what was lost, multiplication of what remains. Abundance that exceeds what you needed and reaches into what you can now give to others. Steward this provision wisely, my child. Give generously from the first of what arrives. Do not let the relief of financial pressure cause you to forget the lessons the season of lack taught you. Keep me at the center of every financial decision, and watch as the stream becomes a river, and the river becomes the abundance that flows through your life and into the lives of others around you. Your season of physical healing has arrived. I know the body has been a battlefield. I know the specific symptoms, the specific diagnosis, the specific places where pain has concentrated and sickness has tried to establish a permanent residence. I know the fear that has come with the physical battle, fear about the future, fear about what the symptoms might mean, fear about whether recovery was genuinely possible. Healing is flowing into your body now. Not eventually. Now, I am touching every affected system. I am speaking restoration into every cell that has been under attack. I am bringing order where disorder has tried to establish itself. I am releasing strength where weakness has been building. The body I created for you was designed to function in health and wholeness, and that is what I am restoring it to. Receive the healing. Declare it over yourself. Do not accept the sickness as your permanent reality when healing is what I have already purchased for you at the cross. And the healing is not only physical. I am healing your mind, the anxiety that has been a persistent presence, the fear that has wrapped itself around your thoughts, the depression that has sat on certain seasons like a cloud that will not clear, the trauma that still fires in situations that should feel safe. I am speaking peace into every layer of mental and emotional suffering. Be still. Receive the calm that only I can give. The mind I created for you was designed for peace, and I am restoring it to its designed state. Type, I receive my healing, Lord. If you are standing in faith for restoration in your body and your mind right now, my beloved, your season of relational restoration and new covenant connection has arrived. I know the relational landscape of your life has been one of the most painful areas of this waiting season. I know the people who left when they should have stayed. I know the relationships that broke in ways that left permanent marks. I know the loneliness that settled in after the breaking, not just the absence of people, but the particular loneliness of feeling unseen and unknown, even in the presence of others. I know the walls that went up in response to the pain, the careful distance, the reluctance to open fully again, the pattern of waiting for the other shoe to drop even in relationships that seemed good, because experience had taught you that good things in the relational area of your life tended not to last. I know all of it. I felt all of it with you, and I have been working in the relational dimension of your life throughout the entirety of this waiting season, even when you could not see it. I have been preparing people for your next season, specific people. People who carry the kind of loyalty in their character that has been absent from your life for too long. People who will see you, the real you, not just the version of you that is easy and presentable, and choose you anyway. People who will stay when things get hard, who will speak truth with love, who will stand with you in the battles and celebrate with you in the victories, who will be safe with the most vulnerable parts of your heart. These people are being positioned in your life right now. Some of them are already at the edges of your world, waiting for the moment when the path between you becomes clear. Some of them you have not yet met but are being brought toward you through the orchestration of circumstances that only I could arrange. And some of the relationships that broke in this season are being touched by my reconciling hand. The ones that belong in your future are being softened, being restored, being prepared for a new chapter that looks different from the one that ended. Let the walls soften, my child. Not recklessly, not without wisdom and discernment, but let them soften enough that the people I am sending can actually reach you. Let me heal the wounded places that have been preventing genuine connection. The loneliness is ending. The isolation is breaking. The season of being seen and known and loved in the context of real human relationship is arriving. My child, your season of purpose and calling has arrived. This is perhaps the most significant dimension of what I am releasing, because it is the one that has burned in you the longest and hurt the most when it seemed delayed. The calling, the dream, the sense of something inside you that was made to be expressed in a specific way in the world, that when you imagine it fully realized makes your spirit come alive in a way that nothing else does. I know how long that fire has been burning. I know the specific shape of the dream I placed inside you. I know the moments when it felt most alive and the moments when it felt so buried under the weight of circumstance and delay that you wondered if it had gone out entirely. It has not gone out. I have been keeping it alive even in the seasons when you could not feel it burning. The calling I placed in you is not subject to your circumstances. It does not die in the seasons of difficulty. It waits. And now the waiting is over for it too. Your purpose is being activated. The assignment that has been in preparation. The specific role in my story that only you can fill. That was written for you before the foundation of the world. That has been taking shape throughout every season of your life, including, and especially the hard ones, is now being deployed. The gifts that have been dormant are being called forth. The anointing that has been building in the hidden seasons is about to be expressed in the open ones. I need you to cooperate with this activation. I need you to stop waiting to feel ready before you begin to move. The truth is that you will never feel fully ready. No one does. Readiness is not a feeling. It is an obedient response to my leading regardless of how ready you feel. When I open the door, walk through it. When I give the instruction, follow it. When I reveal the next step, take it, even if you cannot yet see the full staircase. Even if the step feels too big or too uncertain or too far outside your comfort zone. I have equipped you for everything this calling requires. Not in your own strength, in mine. What you lack, I will supply. What you do not know, I will teach you. What you cannot do on your own, I will do through you. All I need is your willingness, your yes, your obedient step in the direction I am pointing. And I will take care of the rest. Right, I say yes to my calling, Lord, if you are choosing to step into your purpose in this arriving season. My beloved, I want to speak now to the question that I know is sitting just beneath the surface of everything you are receiving. The question that the guarded, protected, carefully managed part of your heart is quietly asking even while the believing part of you is receiving this word. The question is this: how do I know this is real? How do I know this is not just another wave of hope that will eventually recede and leave me in the same place? How do I know that this time the season is actually changing, and not just that my emotions are elevated in response to powerful words? My child, I'm going to give you something more reliable than emotion to stand on. I am going to give you truth. You will know this season is real, not by how you feel in this moment, but by what you begin to see in the days that follow. Watch for the small signs. The door that opens unexpectedly in an area where you had stopped expecting doors to open. The provision that arrives from a direction you did not anticipate. The relationship that softens, or the new person who appears, with the particular quality of spirit that marks them as a covenant connection. The moment in your body when you notice something shifting, something responding to the healing that has been moving through you. The clarity about the next step of your calling that arrives with a peace that settles every question about whether it is from me. These small signs are the first evidence of the season. Do not dismiss them because they are small. Do not hold out for dramatic, undeniable, headline-level miracles while missing the accumulation of quiet, consistent evidences of my faithfulness that together paint an unmistakable picture of my hand moving in your life. The Red Sea parting is preceded by Moses lifting his staff. The manna falling from heaven is preceded by the Israelites waking up and looking for it. The miracle always has a beginning that looks smaller than the fullness of what it will become. Watch for the beginning. Receive it with gratitude. Let it strengthen your faith for what follows. And as the evidences accumulate, as one small sign becomes 2, becomes 5, becomes an undeniable pattern, you will find that the question of whether this is real begins to answer itself through the testimony of what you are experiencing. Your season has arrived, my child, and the evidence of it is coming. Watch for it. My child, I must speak a specific word now to those of you who are in the most desperate place as you receive this message, who have not been waiting in relative comfort, but in genuine crisis, who are not just tired of waiting, but at the absolute end of what you can carry, who came to this word not with the energy of sustained belief, but with the last thin thread of desperate hope that something, anything, would reach you before you had nothing left. I am reaching you, right now, in this moment. These words are not a coincidence. They are a rescue. I place this specific word in your specific path at this specific moment because I know exactly where you are, and I know exactly what you need to hear right now to hold on a little longer. You are not going to collapse under this. I will not allow it. The weight that is on you right now feels like it is beyond what any person should have to carry. And in human terms, you are right. It is beyond what any person should have to carry alone. But you are not carrying it alone. You have never been carrying it alone. Every pound of weight that has been on your shoulders has also been in my hands. I have been underneath you, absorbing the pressure that would have crushed you if it had been resting entirely on you. You are still standing because I have been holding you up. You are still breathing because I have been sustaining your breath. The season is changing for you. Not someday, not when things get better on their own, now, because I am intervening. Because the cry of your desperation has reached my throne and moved my heart and activated my hand in your specific situation. Because I look at you at the end of your strength and see not someone who has failed to believe enough, but someone who has carried more than anyone knows for longer than anyone understands. And my heart responds to that with urgency. Help is coming. Real, specific, tangible help for your real, specific, tangible situation. Hold on. The morning is closer than the darkness is suggesting. The rescue is nearer than the desperation is indicating. The turning point is right at the edge of what you can see from where you are standing. Hold on just a little longer. And let me be the strength for these final moments that you do not have in yourself. Say, rescue me, Lord, if you are in that desperate place right now, and you are choosing to hold on rather than let go. My beloved, as I bring this word toward its close, I want to speak to you about how to walk into this arriving season in a way that allows you to receive everything. It carries without losing any of it to the traps the enemy will set along the way. Walk into this season with gratitude as your foundation. Gratitude is the posture that keeps your heart rightly oriented toward me in the season of blessing, just as prayer kept it rightly oriented in the season of waiting. Every day, in the morning before the activity of the day begins, take a moment to acknowledge where you came from and to honor the faithfulness that brought you to where you are. Do not let the arrival of the blessing make the memory of the waiting fade so quickly that you forget what it taught you. The lessons of the waiting season are some of the most valuable things you carry into the new one. Keep them close. Walk into this season with generosity as your practice. The provision that is coming is not only for your comfort, it is seed for the assignment I am releasing alongside it. What I pour into you, pour through you. Give in the ways I have been preparing you to give throughout the waiting season. Be the answer to someone else's prayer the way that others have been the answer to yours. And watch as the generosity of an open hand creates room for me to keep filling it. Walk into this season with discernment as your guard. New seasons bring new opportunities, and not every opportunity that presents itself in a season of blessing is from me. The enemy does not stop his work when your circumstances improve. He adjusts it. He will send counterfeit versions of the real things I am releasing. Counterfeit relationships that feel like covenant but carry hidden agendas. Counterfeit opportunities that look like purpose but lead away from your assignment. Counterfeit provision that comes with conditions that compromise your values. Stay close to my spirit. Stay in prayer. Let every significant decision pass through the filter of genuine seeking of my will rather than the excitement of the moment. Walk into this season with humility as your protection. When the doors open and the blessing comes and people begin to notice what I am doing in your life, guard yourself against the subtle inflation that can come with visible success. Remember always that everything you are receiving is gift, that the gifts you carry were placed in you before you had done anything to earn them. That the favor on your name is an expression of my love and my covenant faithfulness, not a reflection of your superiority over others. Stay humble. Stay grateful. Stay aware that the same God who lifted you can redirect you if pride begins to replace the dependence on me that has been the hallmark of your journey. Type, I will walk in gratitude and humility, Lord. If you are committing to receive this season in the posture that protects everything it carries, my child, I want to close this word by speaking one final declaration over your life. A declaration that I want you to receive not just as words on a screen, but as a living, powerful, heaven-authorized truth that changes the spiritual reality around your life from this moment forward. The waiting is over. It is done. The season of prolonged delay, of unanswered prayer, of unchanged circumstances, of praying and trusting and holding on without visible evidence, that season is finished. It completed its purpose. It built what needed to be built. It prepared what needed to be prepared. And now it is done. Your season has arrived. Not is arriving, has arrived. It is here. The new season that carries the fulfillment of the promises, the manifestation of the miracles, the expression of the calling, the restoration of what was lost, the provision for what was needed, the healing of what was broken. It is here. Present tense. Now. You are stepping across a threshold today, from one season into another, from the season of waiting into the season of receiving, from the season of holding in faith into the season of holding in reality, from the season of declaration into the season of testimony. And the step across that threshold begins in your spirit right now as you receive this word with the full weight of your faith. I have been faithful, my child, through every day of the long wait, through every silence that felt like absence, through every unanswered prayer that felt like indifference, through every delayed promise that felt like abandonment. I was faithful, working in ways you could not see, preparing in ways you could not perceive, moving toward you through ways you could not trace. Faithful every single day, and I will continue to be faithful. In this new season as I was in the waiting season, in the days of visible blessing as I was in the days of invisible preparation, in the moments of abundant evidence of my hand, as I was in the moments when my hand was completely hidden. I do not change. My faithfulness does not depend on my season or yours. It is who I am. It is the very nature of the love that has held you through everything you have been through. You are loved, my child, completely, unconditionally, without measure or limit or condition. The love that sustained you through the waiting is the same love that is now releasing you into the arrival. And it is that love, not your performance, not your perfection, not your ability to sustain perfect faith through a long and difficult season. That is the foundation of everything I am releasing into your life now. Receive it. All of it. Every dimension. Every promise. Every declaration. Every breakthrough. Every healing. Every restored relationship. Every financial provision. Every open door. Every activation of calling. Every evidence of my faithfulness. Receive it with open hands, open heart, and the tears of a soul that has waited long and is finally seeing what it waited for. The waiting is over. Your season has arrived, and I am here to walk with you into every single day of it. Type Amen if you receive this declaration and believe that your season has arrived. Share this message with someone who is still in the waiting, someone who needs to hear that the waiting has a purpose and an end, someone who needs to know that their season is coming too. Your share could be the word that keeps them holding on until their own arrival comes.